Hi everybody, it's Diana with stampingwithdie.com. Welcome to this week's Teach Me Tuesdays, episode 149. And today I'm going to do a fun double easel fun fold card. And I have done the double easel a few times. I don't know if I always call it that, but I think that's what the fold is really called. So if you are new to my channel, my name is Diana. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm in Santan Valley, Arizona, where we are finally feeling some fall weather, at least in the morning and in the evening. The daytime's still a little warm, not 120 or anything like that, but you know, you still can wear like a t-shirt and stuff like that. So I want to welcome you to my channel if you are new. If you've been here before, welcome back. And so today I do a Teach Me Tuesday. It doesn't always have to be a new technique because like I said, I have shown this card style before, and I'm going to do some watercoloring today because I love to watercolor and I use the blends a lot. And I think because I'm using the all bundled up stamp set, I'm in Arizona, but I'm Canadian, and I love a stamp set if it has a moose in it, and this one has a cute little moose in there, and he's very comical, so that's what I'm going to be using today. And the other few times that I have used him, I have used the Stampin' blends. So I thought I would change it up today and do some watercoloring with him instead. So if you have any questions, make sure you let me know. I will be watching live with you off to the side in the chat room. So if you don't see the chat, you could be watching the replay and then you have to like request the chat to show up. But if you are watching the live, it should start. I know if you want to chat along with everybody, you do have to sign in to your Google account or your YouTube account in order to do that. If you are watching the replay and you have a question, just put it down in the comments. YouTube will let me know that you left me a message, and then I can go back and answer a question or whatever you are needing. So I'm going to stop blabbing, close your eyes while I adjust the camera. We'll try to go really quick when I do that. And try to be halfway straight. I noticed yesterday, once I scooted my camera down, I was all crooked. I wasn't even paying attention to that. Okay, so we have a few things that I need to mention only because we are almost to the end of October. We are the last week of October. We only have one, I think Monday, next Monday is right, the last day of October. So this is my host code, so please make sure you use that if you are ordering less than $150 before tax and shipping. If you're ordering over $150 before tax and shipping, then you only have a few days left to get the starter kit. So I would totally just get the starter kit because you'll be able to get $155 worth of stuff for only $99 in tax, and you'll get free shipping. And that is, you don't even have to be a demonstrator necessarily. That's just to get the discount. This is my job, so I do the videos and the classes, and I have my spring social coming up, which I'll mention too. But you do not have to do all that in order to get the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator discount. So if you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me because the extra $30 in the starter kit ends on October the 31st. So I would love for you to join my family. Okay, I talked about that. So here is the spring social. So February the 25th is my virtual spring social, and I don't know the cost yet because you will be using brand new stuff from the new mini catalog that's coming, as well as a celebration, and I won't know till I see that in November, and then I can tell you what stamp sets you're going to be getting and the cost and all that good stuff. But I do have a list of everyone that is saying yes or maybe, and I would love to hear from you if you say no, it doesn't work, because at least then I know that you have got my email and you know, took it into consideration, but it doesn't work for you. It is a virtual event. You'll do it at home. through a Zoom platform, but that also streams in a private Facebook group. But I'm also recording it, so you'll actually be able to catch it 3 different ways: in the Zoom live, streamed in the private Facebook group, or you can watch it later on a private YouTube link, and then you can do your projects at your leisure. So it should work for everybody. You know, even if you're busy that day, that's not a big deal. You can rewatch the event, you know, when you can later. So you will see more information. Make sure you sign up for my newsletter so you don't miss out on that, or check my blog. I also put it on there. Now, the other day I showed the super fun Ho 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 paper pumpkin cards. That was the October paper pumpkin. And when I was taping the video, now things change. The refills were now available. Now, those are for current Paper Pumpkin subscribers only. So make sure you are a current Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Okay, I think that's all. I can take a deep breath and let's get to the fun card. All right, so let's see. We are going to use, like I had mentioned, the all bundled up stamp set. This is so adorable. It just has these fun little critters on there. I love the font. It's just an all around cute set. And like I said, since I am Canadian, even though I live in the United States, anything with a moose, I still miss, you know, Canada. My family's all there. I don't necessarily miss the snow, not one bit. All right. I'm also using deckled rectangles. I'm also using the adhesive back sequins and gems. And these were, I believe these were the goodies for last month. So if you order 75 in the month, I always have like a goodies or a guts, and those were the goodies for September. Okay, somebody asked me the other day in regards to talking about goodies and guts, what were they for October? So the iridescent pearl basic jewel. So if you order 75 before tax and shipping in my store, then I send you a gift. So that's why I use the hostess code. So it's important for you to add that host code if you're ordering less than 150. So you have a choice of the iridescent pearls basic jewels. Now I send these to you in November with your thank you card. You don't pick them in your order because this is something that I'm doing, not Stampin' Up. So you have your choice of these or the guts, I like to call them, goodies or guts. And the guts actually make these cards. Now nothing is stamped, so you'll have to use your own stamps at home. This is a gift card holder. I took the gift card out of there. And look how pretty this one is. So these are the card from the card guts. Now I'll put, you know, I put this in there. I put the folders. You'll have your cute little ladybug, but nothing is stamped. And I actually have a video, so I will link to that video so that you can go back and see how to make them. Because I have a video that shows step by step how to make those projects, so that when you do get your gut packet, if you choose those, then you can just watch that video and make your stuff. But again, nothing is stamped on there. You have to use your own stamps and inks and all that kind of stuff. But you can just change it out with whatever you have. If you ordered 150 before the tax and the shipping, not only do you get hostess benefits, but you'll get both goodies and guts. So that's always a good thing. Okay, so now really let's get to this card. Gush, 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 gosh. All right, so I'm also using the DSP I'm using is the shimmery, is the DSP. The DSP I'm using is the Bows of Holly DSP. I'm like getting it out of the packet. I'm also using shimmery cardstock because I'm going to do some watercoloring. All right, so I'm just getting my pieces here. Okay, So let's stamp our moose and our greeting just so that has some time to dry. Now, since I am watercoloring, we are using the Stays On. There we go. I'm like looking at my computer because it keeps changing color. I'm like, okay, what is happening that the color keeps changing? All right. And I'm like looking at my overhead lights. I'm like, they aren't changing. So who knows? All right, so I'm using the Stays On because this is we're watercoloring, and I'm using the ink, the classic ink pads, which are a water-based ink. Okay, so we'll let that dry really well. Then I want my greeting, and I just cut a small little thing, but I am going to trim this down because once I put my card together, I was like, oh, I want this a little smaller, but I'd already cut my cute little rectangles out. All right, I also want to do the inside just so it can kind of dry. I love this DSP. This is that Bows of Holly, but it kind of looks almost like camouflage, right? Like maybe if Santa was a hunter, maybe he would wear this color camouflage with the reds and the greens. But that's what it kind of reminded me of. You know how like I have some cute shirts that are camo, you know, design, but they're purples and they're pinks, so they're not really camo. I mean, because camo is like what my husband wears when he goes hunting. Okay, so I'm going to put on the inside of my card, let me do my greeting first. So your friendship warms my heart. And then we're going to put some snowflakes in here too. So your friendship warms my heart. And I'm just stamping that along that card or DSP on the bottom. And then we'll take our cute little snowflakes. And we'll put a few of those in there as well. Let's decorate our envelope while we have our ink pads open. Because the Stays On, you don't want to leave it open a long time or it dries out because it's basically like Sharpie marker ink, and I know I've talked about that before. All right, so I'm going to put some snowflakes, and then let's turn it around and let's have some fun with the back of our envelope. So we're going to put our cute little moose on the back. So we're just going to put him right here on the back. And then when it gets closed, it'll kind of finish his hat. I'm going to take just a regular paper mate marker or whatever, and I'm just going to go bloop, 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 like he's talking, and I'm going to go, hi. And I'm just going to stick that, and that's just on the back of the envelope, just to have fun. The front of the envelope isn't the only place that we could stamp on, is it? I thought that was super cute. So think about that when you're decorating your envelopes. You definitely want to leave plenty of space for the return address and where it's going. You don't want to have it be so confusing that the post office can't, you know, read it. So, but a little bit in the corners is fine. Okay, so let's bring our moose over. He should be good and dry. All right, I'm just grabbing one I stamped earlier, just in case he wasn't dry. Okay, so I'm also using my water painter, my little silicone. So if you have watched me watercolor before, you know I use my cute little silicone, and I have just trimmed the regular one down. It's like bigger. I just trimmed it into 4. I have a little cotton round that I use for my fingernails, and this is just how I keep my brush clean in between. And this silicone keeps my desk from getting really, really wet, because this will get, you know, pretty wet on it. Okay, so let's do our coloring. Now the colors that I'm going to be using are Smoky Slate, Soft Suede, Poppy Parade, and Shaded Spruce. Oh, and Pool Party. I forgot Pool Party. And Pool Party. All right. So we have Pool Party. Now what I have done is I have already squirted refill into my lid, and I'm just going to put the stamp set over here to kind of keep my pad halfway, you know, so it's not falling all over the place. So I like to just put refill in the ink pad lid, and then I use that as my paint palette, and then that way I'm not wasting any ink when I just close it, and it's all good to the next time. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little Pool Party, and we're going to do some shadowing. So if you shadow, especially when you watercolor, you want to shadow first. I try to shadow first even when I use my blends, because you have this nice plain image, nothing is colored on there, and you can just, you know, you can see. When you're watercoloring with the classic ink water-based ink pads, it is definitely more important to do your shadowing first. If not, if you brush up against and do your shadowing last, you will pull ink out of where you've already colored because it's water-based. The blends, it's not as bad, but I still like to just remember to shadow first, and then you're good to go. I don't know why, but I always seem to put my shadow on the left side, and I think I mentioned the other day, I think it's because I'm right-handed, so I do it here. If I was left-handed, I would be, you know, if I was left-handed and I did it here, I would be going over with my left hand and smearing it. So I think that's why I just have a habit of doing the left side, because this is wet, but I'm going this way, so I'm allowing it to dry. I'm not dragging my hand over it. So I kind of think subconsciously that's why I did it, and not even realizing that that was the reason. So if you are a lefty, you know, you might go, well, I'm going to do it on the right side. You know? Okay, so let's get back to coloring. So I'm going to do Smoky Slate. That's going to be the antlers. So we're just going to pick up some Smoky Slate. Let me scoot down a little bit. So we're going to pick up some Smoky Slate. So I'm just loading up my water painter. And it's fairly diluted because in my first amount, I want it to be fairly light. So we're just quickly coloring in the antlers. And then same way as I do the left, I start on the left and I'll work my way over as well. Again, just so I'm not dragging my hand in that wet ink. All right, so that's one coat. Now we're going to use the same Smoky Slate, but now I'm going to come over here, I'm going to pick up a little bit more on my water painter, so it's going to be a little bit darker, and then we're just going to go right over top just on that side and make it be a little bit darker. You do want to make sure that this is dry before you do that. You don't want it to be wet. That's why I'm using the shimmery, because it seems to dry faster. If you use the watercolor paper, it stays wet longer. And you want to make sure it's really dry before you go back and add more. If there's a little bit of wet still on your card and that darker color that you're just adding touches that wet, it will pull it. It will drag that color in, and then you won't get those definite color changes because it's pulling it over into your lighter. So just make sure that it's good and dry. I'm also going to put just a little bit here on his teeth, just so that they're not uncolored. Even white has a color. All right, then we're going to do soft suede. So let's do our moose, and I'm just going to make him be the soft suede. And I just kind of looked at the colors that were in the DSP and what went with the DSP for the choices that I picked today. So this is, again, I loaded up my brush with that soft suede, and then I'm just going to quickly color my moose. And he doesn't have to be perfect. He is a moose after all. So I'm just very quickly And by going left to right, as it gets lighter and lighter, it just makes sense. I have a little bit of cotton on my tip of my brush. All right, so let's do his ears and then his face. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna start at the top where that would be a little shadowy underneath his hat, and then work from the left to the right. And then we're going to do the same thing as we did with the antlers. Once this is good and dry, we will pick up some more so you can see how he's coming along. Let me pick this up. So that was the first coat of our soft suede, and then the 2 coats of the slate. All right, so now we're going to grab a little bit more. So the soft suede is going to be a little bit darker, and then we're just going to add a little bit of dark where it would be along the side underneath the scarf, and a little bit dark around the nostrils. So I love him because he just, like I said, he's a mousse, so he doesn't have to be this perfectly smooth colored. I love it when he's kind of mottledy looking and not perfect. So see, he's so cute. All right, so clean, squeeze, and clean. Now, just like I said, when we watercolor, you want to shadow first. When you watercolor, you want to use red last, because especially if you brush up against it with another color, you'll pull that red. So we're going to do Poppy Parade, but it's going to be the very last color we use. So right now I'm using the shaded spruce. And again, I'm just diluting this fairly much because it's pretty dark color, that shaded spruce. So I want my pom-pom to be shaded spruce. And then we're just going to go in and we're going to color the scarf like every other one. And I choose the smaller of the brushes to color. You do get 3 in the pack. And I just kind of gravitate to that smaller tip. I have a little bit more control. All right, so that was 1 coat. Let me put some back here. That scarf goes back there. So that was 1 coat. Now, just like before, we're going to go right into the darker, and I want to pick up some dark. Now, this is a fairly dark color, this suede, so we don't want to make it be too dark. And I'm just putting it right along that edge there so that we have 2 colors going on. But see how I just loaded it on the brush and I'm able to finish the whole thing with 1 coat. All right, so there is our shaded spruce, 2 coats of the shaded spruce. Squeeze. And then our last color is Poppy Parade. Now I chose Poppy Parade because it's happy, happy red, I think. It's just a really, it's a fun red. Even though, where's my, let me look at my little thing here. Bows, because there's bows of, so bows, so that's why too. Because Bows of Holly, this is the DSP I'm using, has Poppy Parade and Real Red and Cherry Cobbler. It has some fun reds in there, so I love that. So you're not like, it doesn't not make sense if you're using certain colors. All right, so we're going to go Poppy Parade just like we did before. Our first coat is fairly diluted. And I'm doing his toque or his stocking cap or whatever you call it. Pom-pom hat. I don't think you call that a beanie. I don't know. Growing up in Canada, this was a toque. So I'm going to say that. All right. So that was our 1 coat of Poppy Parade. And then we're going to go in here and grab it a little bit more so it's going to be more concentrated. and then add it to our hat. So our hat's got some shadow going on to it, and our scarf as well. So you definitely want to leave some of that scarf lighter. So if you don't do watercoloring, definitely give it a try. If you haven't used your water painters, you can do the same thing with a paintbrush, like a skinny paintbrush. But then you have to keep, you know, it acts a little bit different. But all right, I'm just going to put a little bit of that red poppy in his ear holes. All right, so that looks good to me. That looks good. So let's put our card together. So what's nice about the cotton round, now that's just like boop in the garbage. In the garbage. Oh, you know what I forgot? Now that I threw that away, I want to take a little bit of Pool Party. I should have did this at the first, but I forgot. And I want to emphasize on my You're the Coolest. I want to emphasize the word coolest. Like, you are the coolest. So I want to kind of highlight that with the Pool Party. All right, and then just make sure you clean your water painter before you put the lid on it, and then it's good to go. If you've never used them before, they open up differently. You know how we say righty-tighty, lefty-loosey? Well, if I go right, well, it goes loose instead of being tight. So you do the opposite. So if you do have them and you're like, I cannot get the barrel off, turn it the other way. All right, so let's put our card together. So let's bring our pieces over. Let me get my handy dandy ruler in case you have not seen this fold before, so you can tell you the sizes. All right, so this is just a regular card base. So it is 10.5, and then it's scored at 5.5, or not 10.5, it's 11. So it's 11 by 4 1/4. So it's just half of a sheet of cardstock, scored at 5.5. So that's your card base, and this is Poppy Parade. Then you have a piece of shaded spruce, and this one is 10 1/4 long, and then it's scored at 5 1/4, and then it's scored at 7 3/4, and the width of it is 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to score up, and then we're going to pull this one down. And what we're doing is we're making that double easel. So like this is like an easel, and this is like an easel, but it kind of is also like a Z-fold card. And you have seen me do Z-fold cards before, right? So basically, this is like a Z-fold card is on top of a regular card, but when you put them together, it gives you that double easel. All right, so let's start putting our card together. And I'm almost out of seal. I keep saying that, and then it's like it almost fills itself. Oh, I got a little bit of red there, but that's okay. All right, so we've got that. All right, then let's bring our shaded spruce over. Now I chose shaded spruce because that's part of the cardstock that's in that DSP pack. So now when you do this kind of card and you're mixing and matching your DSPs, just make sure you don't use one that's too busy, because, hang on a second, you want to make sure that it's not like so busy on the card that the person's eyeball is just, it's tired, you know, after looking at the card. All right, then we're going to put this on here, because see, this together is too busy, and that's what I mean. Like, I wouldn't want to put this together because it's just got too much going on. But the other side with the cute little polka dots is perfect. All right, so that goes on here. Then we'll put it on here. So then this gets put on here. So just kind of close that. Now you could put this DSP in here as well. And I didn't tell you the DSP sizes. Hold on a second. This is 3 3/4 by 5, this piece. This is 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. And then this was 4 by 5 1/4. And this is 1 inch by 4 1/4. All right. Now let's put our card together. Now what we're going to do is I need to get my dimensionals. So we want to put our cute little moose on the front of the card, but we only want to attach them to this piece here. We don't want to attach them here or here because we want to make sure the card is able to do all its easeling, and we don't want to mess it up. So I'm going to take some dimensionals. So I'm going to put a couple, 1, 2, I'll put one here, but then I want to put dimensionals over here. And then that way, for sure, I'm not by accident putting a dimensional here and then, oh, I put it up too high and now it's going to snag the card there. So if you just put the ones on the bottom of your moose and then the ones here, you'll be fine because it will catch the moose both places. All right, so we're going to put our moose on there like that. And let's do our You're the Coolest. So I'm just cutting this out. And we're going to pop that on there. And I'm going to use dimensionals for that as well. So I'm just going to stick it on here. And then that way it's right where I want it to be. So You're the Coolest. Let's put our bling. I was like, where's the bling? All right. So we're going to put our sequins and gems. And I'm going to pick these ones here. And we're just going to speckle them around on the card. Just so that there's something going on. 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6. We're going to go to town with our bling. So here is the cute little card. So see what I mean by it's a double easel. So when it stands on your shelf, it just stands up like this. But it goes in the envelope like it's a regular size card. You know, it fits in your regular envelope, so that they can set it on your shelf. Now, if you wanted, you could put more, you know, stuff there. I just kind of like it, so it's just got some character to it. Let me show you another one that I did. So this is that same DSP, but I chose the other side. But this is what I meant. You want to make sure you choose DSP that's not going to overpower the other one. So that's why I chose, you know, the polka dots with the kind of camel one because it looks super cute. But I chose the striped one to go with this because this one is fairly busy. This DSP is very busy. This one kind of looks like the forest back there. Another thing I did different with this card is I used the Snowfall Accents puff paint. And you simply sprinkle it on. Now I've already done it. I've already glued this little guy, so I don't want to do it now because it will buckle the card a little bit. So, but you just put it on and then heat it up and it turns into snow. Because now it looks like he's standing in the snow. He's got snow on his antlers. So you definitely want to grab some of that. Now the Snowfall Accent Puff Paint is different than the enamel paints because they just air dry and they don't puff up. So just make sure they're in the same kind of little bottle, so they can be confusing. But the enamel ones come as a 3-pack. I think I have, hang on a minute. I think I have, yeah, here we go. just so I can show you. You can see the bottles are very similar, but you get, you know, the 3 different colors, and then they just air dry. But this one is the puff, and you just use your heat gun to set it up. So if anybody needs to see this, make sure you let me know, and then I can show this on a Friday. I'll show this on Friday if you haven't seen it. So just make sure you let me know. Just send me a quick little note in the chat or the comments and say, yeah, please show the Snowfall Accents puff paint, and I will show you Friday for my dies shorts. All right, so let me say see you later, alligator. Ooh, you almost dropped the thing on the floor. All right, so get in the right place. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. Because I'm trying to think. Okay, so yeah, so let me know if you want me to show that. And I think that's all I have to share with you. Make sure you let me know if you have any questions at all. I will put the supply list underneath the video, so that will, I'll put that on after the video goes. So you have everything that you need. But if you have any questions at all, make sure you reach out to me. Otherwise, I will see you Friday for my dies shorts, 3 o'clock, Arizona time, same channel. And have a great night, everyone. And thanks for spending some time with me today. All right, have a good one. Bye for now.